On to our final guests. Miguel Molinar and Michael David are in a new production of Children of Eden, which opens July 8th at St. James Episcopal Cathedral. Welcome, Miguel and Michael. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So it's kind of fitting then that this show, you're going to be presenting it in an actual church setting.
Yeah, so the musical is based on the Bible. So I think it works really well in the round. We're actually going to be using the gymnasium, so it's a bit bigger.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, and the acoustics are still really, really nice too.
So Children of Eden is one of those shows that I've heard a lot about over the years, but have never actually had the opportunity to see. Had either of you seen it before getting involved in this project?
No, not seen it, but it's always been something you heard about like throughout musical theater because of all of the beautiful songs and popular big belty songs that are in it. And it's definitely like kind of intimidating because of how big those songs are, and everyone wants to try them because they're so high and belty.
You hear them a lot, say, at auditions or
I think,
just on like musical theater albums.
Yeah, like one of my first memories was in high school. Taylor Abels showed me Natalie Weiss singing Spark of Creation on YouTube. And it was like when YouTube was new, you know what I mean? And so I was like enamored, but I had no idea that it was from the musical, Children of Eden. It was something much bigger.
So this is the music is by Stephen Schwartz, who of course wrote Godspell and Pippin and Wicked.
He won an Academy Award for When You Believe for Prince of Egypt. Yeah.
So it's a really well-known sound.
Yes.
In terms of the composer.
Yeah. The music. I mean, the music is what sold me. When I was reading the script, I was understanding, the biblical stories because I grew up on them, but the music was what really compelled me to audition for the show.
So essentially, this is the story of Adam and Eve. Am I right?
Yeah.
So Michael, how does the show start? What's the premise?
I mean, it starts with the creation of the world, essentially, with the Father creating Adam and Eve, and then it kind of goes with Adam and Eve creating their family, and then, they kind of break the rules in the sense of not following Father's instructions, so they are kind of banned from the Garden of Eden. And their family is then kind of shunned from the garden, and then they end up kind of following their parents' footsteps in the sense of they want to break the rules as well, and it kind of trickles down.
It's where the whole thing started, right?
Generational trauma.
Generational trauma. So, Miguel, what role do you play?
I'm playing the Father,
who is essentially God.
Yes.
Okay. So
the Creator, the Messiah, Almighty.
And Michael, you
Cain.
So you have the bad guy role.
Yes. Yes.
He does a really great job.
He does a great job. Now, I understand the two of you have kind of there's kind of a coincidence here in that you went to school together, and you actually, while you were at school, you sang one of the well-known songs for this. So where were you when you were both together?
So we were in Los Angeles. We went to American Musical Dramatic Academy in Los Angeles. And our first semester, we were actually in the same class together. And Lost in the Wilderness was my first song that I was assigned.
And Lost in the Wilderness is what you're going to be singing for us today. And tell us a little bit about that song. What's happening there?
So this is the song where I'm becoming the rebel, and I want to convince Abel, my brother, like, let's go and adventure, and let's break away from following the rules, and let's go beyond what everyone tells us to do and the status quo.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Shine Theater. Now, this company's been around a while, but it used to be I think it was exclusively devoted to children's theater, and now it's branched out. Tony Sanders, the artistic director, has really been taking it in an interesting direction. And I saw Bear, the musical, which was that's B-A-R-E, that was also at St. James. And oh my God, it was great. It was really, really good. And the vocal power was really there. So what do you think about this? The fact that there's this new theater company that's pushing the envelope a bit.
I love it. I think it's what we need. I think we have the talent for it in town. The cast list of Bear alone was phenomenal. So I wish I could have seen it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it, but I know the talent so well, the voices. I mean, I'm sad I missed out on it, but I'm very happy that there are people, here in town willing to do theater that is considered a little bit more risky, but that tells lives. It tells the stories of people's lives that don't normally get to tell their story. Don't really have a voice to do it. So I thought that was beautiful, what they were doing.
And it's nice that this will be the second title that I've always wanted to see, but it just, I've never had that ability to do it. So it's nice that somebody's out there thinking
of doing, unknown, because I've never seen it done, in the Valley, or this is a musical. It's not really done very much, at all. So,
right.
It's a wonderful opportunity and honor.
So Michael, you're going to be a new name on the Fresno theater scene.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Originally from San Francisco, obviously made my way to LA and New York, and then I actually now reside in the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
And then we've been friends ever since, and so he told me about the opportunity of Children of Eden, and I was like, I have to do it. And so
well, that's great. That's great.
I'm here now.
The show itself, I'm curious what the tone of it is because I think if you were to do a show today about the Garden of Eden, it would be kind of snarky and sarcastic. But I'm guessing that this is a little gentler.
When Tony was blocking it and then we performed the very first song, I started to notice it's a very playful tone, especially because Adam and Eve, the way that they were delivering their lines, their chemistry was popping off each other so well. And there was so much love between them. But at the same time, too, I saw the way that the script was written and the way that they were playing with the lines. It was so playful and light. So I didn't get the snarky tone. However, there are times when it comes in a little bit, and especially like when the snake comes in, and
And so it's kind of it might have a little bit of a nostalgic feel to it, but it's not like a Sunday school pageant.
Right,
exactly.
Right.
I guess is what I.
Yes. I'm playing the father, so it's going to be a very different take than what most people think of as God.
Right. Well, this is great. I'm really looking forward to it. Anything else that you want to say about the production, or that we should know?
We're just really excited to perform. We're very excited to be here, and thank you for all you do for the Central Valley and making theater so accessible to everybody in the Valley.
Well, it can be a challenge to encourage people to go see titles that they aren't familiar with, and that's one of I think the biggest hurdles that theater companies have too. And that's one reason why you keep seeing the same titles over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's about audiences. It's like training audiences to get out there and do it. So just flash question, if you could bring any musical to Fresno and perform in it, what would it be?
Hunchback.
Hunchback? Okay. How about you?
I wasn't here when everybody did In the Heights, and so now I'm back, and I would love to be in the Heights. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that's one that they've done a few times, but unfortunately I couldn't audition for any of them. But I would love to do In the Heights.
Okay. Well, those are two good titles. All right. Well, thanks, guys. After a break, we're going to get a musical treat. Michael is going to sing for us. And now, singing Lost in the Wilderness from Children of Eden, Michael David.
I never made this world, I didn't even lose it. And I know no one said it was fair, but they had a garden once, they had the chance to choose it. They gave it away, including my share. And now we're lost lost in the wilderness, lost crying in the wilderness. And if anyone's watching, it seems they couldn't care less. We're lost in the wilderness. You follow all the rules, you swallow all the stories, and every night you wish on a star, dreaming your day will come, trusting in allegories, and every morning, boy, look where you are. Lost in the wilderness, lost slowly dying in the wilderness, with no chance of living, boy, until you confess you're lost in the wilderness. Don't you ever watch the eagle fly to the sun and wonder how he got to feel so free? If you ever have, you know your journey's begun. Hey, what have you got to lose, boy, when already we are lost in the wilderness? And where we are headed, boy, I couldn't even guess, but off we go without a warning, running as we hit the ground, where our future lies a-borning, where our hearts are outward bound. To that bright and distant morning, we may stop and look around, and there in the wilderness, finally we'll be found.
Great job. Great job. That wraps it up for this month's episode of the Munro Review on CMAC. Be sure to keep up online at munroreview.com for previews, giveaways, profiles, reviews, and more. A big thank you to the CMAC staff and volunteer crew, and a thank you to our guests, Zelia Ankrum, Miguel Molinar, and Michael David. And for all of you, please keep exploring and supporting the local arts scene. We'll see you next time.